everyone, it's Catherine. Welcome. Thank you for joining me once again. It's great to have you here with me. I'm Catherine Eardley. I am the founder of Future Retail Consulting and the Female Founders in Retail Facebook group, and I'm really delighted that you've chosen to join me today. Today, we're going to talk about how you work out what your customer wants. So it can feel like a real struggle. Of course, you're going to start off with what's in your niche, but how do you go about creating the ideal product for your customer? At the end of the session, I'm going to tell you about a free roadmap that you can download to tell you the steps that you can go through to create a profitable business. But for right now, let's talk about your customer. So once again, it can feel like trying to produce the ideal product is an impossible task because after all, you're not a mind reader. So how would you know exactly what it is that your customer wants? So these are things that you might have tried. So a lot of people, when you talk to them, they'll say, right, well, I mostly buy things that I like. Or they might just say, well, I just try a bit of everything to see what people really like. And it's understandable. A lot of people start companies to serve people like them. So it's understandable why people make the mistake of thinking purely about what they would like. And frankly, guessing is not really a strategy. It's just something that we tend to do because we're not necessarily sure as to how to go about it in a more systematic way. It's difficult though to plan a really effective product range based on those approaches because they're scattergun, they're subjective, and they're not like an orderly process for you to go through to come up with what it is exactly that your customer wants from you. But the good news is there are other techniques you can use to figure out exactly what people in your niche want. So very simply, you can start by observing their customer behavior. So if you're on Instagram, a lot of us are, figure out who your perfect customers are, make sure that you are following them, and then see who else they like. What do they comment on? And if you spend some time, an hour or two, going through their social media and who they follow and the comments that they make, you'll very quickly pick up on some ideas of products and brands that they really connect with. If you're already selling, then you want to really look at your numbers. That's going to tell you more than pretty much anything else. So you want to have a look for if there are particular price points, particular products, particular colors or sizes that are selling, or are there ones that get particularly strong reactions on social media? All of that could be really important in helping you figure out what it is that your customer wants. After all, everything is a theory until you test it. So the only feedback that really matters is what sells. If you're still, actually at any point in the business, it's a great idea to talk to your customer. So talk to them directly to your customer. Obviously, we've talked about following them on social media and doing some really good in-depth customer research where you're looking at what they like and what they comment on. But you can also just talk to them directly. If people are struggling in their business, I often ask them when it was the last time that they were face-to-face with their ideal customer. It is very, very easy to be in a bubble, sitting in your own room or your co-working space or wherever it is that you work on your business and just mulling things over in your head as to what they like or what they don't like. Find your customer, find your ideal customer, sit down with them and go through it. Now, not to say that their word is law, and obviously there are multiple people within your customer avatar, so you may well find that what one person thinks is not the truth for everybody else, but there is very little that can substitute for having an actual face-to-face conversation with your customer and understanding what it is that they like and don't like about your products. There are also you can also ask them about their past purchases. You can also do competitive shops. Now, competitor shops are a really key element of brand building or product range building in any retailer. And frankly, it is as simple as it sounds. You go out to the stores. I mean, you can do it online, to be fair. You can definitely do an online competitor shop. It's really great if you can get out there in person because then you get to really touch and feel the products, as well as seeing if you're in another brand in their space, you can see how they present themselves and really what messages they're trying to get across. So you can go and look and see at what your competitors are doing. That's another great way for you to understand kind of what's out there, what's in the market. And then, as you said, using more targeting tools, there's an awful lot that you can do. If you know who your customer base is on Facebook, for example, you can use their audience insights, and that will actually list out for you the pages that they like and the products and the services that they interact with on a daily basis. So it's a really great way for you to understand that. And then finally, another way for you to understand what your customer might want is to understand the latest trends. There's a whole heap of different ways that you can do that. The simplest one is to go to a relevant trade show for your particular sector, to walk around, to go to the seminars, to see the free talks, and there's a lot of information that they actually give away there. You can also pick up on what the up and coming trends are just by walking around your competitors' stalls and seeing what they're doing, and seeing, you know, if you keep seeing the same type of pattern or theme or color or use of materials over and over again amongst the other people who have their who are exhibiting at the trade show, then you can be sure that that is an up and coming trend, something very useful for you to think about. So those are just a few ideas, and I'd love to hear from you how you find out what your customer will love. Is there anything that you can share that took you by surprise? I definitely would always recommend that when you're trying to work this out, that you lower your risk, you try and keep it pretty minimal. So when you're trying to work out what your customer wants, don't buy thousands of something just because you feel sure it's going to be a dead cert. You want to still test. As I said, the absolute proof of what your customer wants is going to come from your sales. So wherever ever possible, you want to set yourself up in a model where you can test with small quantities and then build on that later for more volume. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Again, go to www.futureretail.world/roadmap to download the roadmap for how to build a profitable business. And please do come into the group and share with me how you figure out what your customer wants. And I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Have a great day.